Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing the Rose Technics Ceramics X. So I don't know what's the name. Is it Rosals? I don't know what it is, but they call them Rose Technics since in their box. But they also go by Rose Technique in social media. So I don't know. But anyways, it's the new upgrade to their IM, the old ceramics, the TWS. Big thanks to Rose Techniques for sending me this review unit. Please do check below the like button all the unaffiliated links. But all the thoughts and opinions you're about to hear are my own. So let's start the review. So yeah, let's check out the TWS and talk about it. Basically, I'll display all the technical specs. I do not want to bore you with all those things. So you can pause the video and check it. Compared to the Rose Technics i3, these come with LDAC. And also they have a better ANC on paper at least, right? So that's something I really like. And let's talk about the ANC and transparency first. I'm using the Divinus velvet tips over here, the velvet whiteboard tips. Although the stock tips were really good for me, I saw that the whiteboard were surprisingly good. They did offer me a bit better sound, a tad bit better sound, and most importantly, I got a better fit over here. So that's why I'm using. And surprisingly, these TWS, they have small cases, right? But they do fit inside the TWS case, the Divinus whiteboard tips. So that's a plus too. There is a bit of a gap, as you can see. Yeah, as you can see, there's a bit of a gap, but that's okay. It has no issues with charging or disconnecting and connecting it to my device. So I use that. Yeah, so let's talk about the ANC and transparency. ANC and transparency using the stock tips and Divinus velvet tips is very similar. In the Divinus velvet, I did notice a tad bit of an increase in ANC. It was a very slight increase, and transparency too. The ANC is quite good for $50. All the low rumbles and everything were stopped. There were no issues, and even some of the higher frequencies, for example car horns or anything like your claps or anything, they were muted too. So that was nice. For some example, some TWS, like for example the Creative Avanna Ace 2, it is $130. They have this issue wherein if you clap or if there is a car horn, they amplify that even when you're in ANC. This doesn't do that. That is really nice. And also transparency is surprisingly natural. It has a bit of a cupping feeling, like someone is cupping your ears. So it does have that feeling. But hey, these are $50, so I don't really knock them. But still, I'm just mentioning it. And they also have something called as separate noise cancellation mode. That is a wind noise cancellation. So if there is a wind, you can toggle on that. It will have noise cancellation, but the noise cancellation effect is much lesser in the wind noise cancellation. But you also don't hear that wind buffeting in your ear, right? With the microphones over here, as you can see, yeah, they do. There is no buffeting of the wind, so that is nice. And let's talk about the app a bit. The app is very similar to the Rose Technics i3. It has all the features, but one thing it does lack from the Rose Technics earfree i3 is that it lacks the touch button setting, because as these are quite small, I do like to wear them and sleep. But what happens is when I sleep and if I touch my finger over here, they do change the volume, they increase the volume, they do change the track and everything else. So I would have really liked if they can easily add this via an update wherein you can disable the touch button and just sleep them with them. Also, they do not have that low power searching mode in the Rose Technics Ceramics X, which is a bit of a bummer. I think so that used a bit less energy in the Rose Technics earfree i3. Now they do have 3 presets, that is pop, hi-fi and rock. I didn't find much difference between pop and rock. They sounded a bit cramped. The hi-fi one is the best one I found. They did give me a bit more soundstage, a tad bit more soundstage, and the bass seemed a bit more tactile and punchy. So yeah, so whatever sound impressions I'll be talking is on that hi-fi sound. So let's talk about that. Also, before I talk about the sound, please do pause and see all the controls. It thankfully lets you control everything. So yeah, talking about the sound, they are a smooth V shape. That's all I can say. So if you want a TWS, you want a fun sound, this is really nice. Specifically when I am listening to a TWS, it's not something for critical listening, especially if I'm spending $50. It's just something I want to block my environment, and I want to listen to some podcasts, some audiobooks, some videos, watch some movies, and listen to some songs and outside. And it should be in a V shape. It should have a good amount of bass. It should have a decent amount of treble. That's it. I'm done. And that's what the Rose Technics Ceramics X does better than the earfree i3 in my opinion. Although Rose Technics pits this as an ANC model and the earfree as a sound model, I think so the Ceramic X sound a bit more better than the earfree i3, because that earfree i3 has this veilness of in the mids, which this Ceramic X doesn't have. They sound a bit more natural over here. In the bass region, the Ceramic X is decent. It's punchy, it's nice. Male vocals are also good, although they, as usual, they do take a backseat since it's a V shape, and they have that unnaturalness a bit. Like for example, Chris Cornell, Bill Withers, you know, the thick vocals doesn't really come across well. It sounds a bit unnatural, but hey, that's okay. It's a $50 TWS, and female vocals are good. There are no issues over here, and the treble too is also decent. One thing I want to say is, just like the Rose Technics earfree i3 reminded me of the Moondrop Chew 2, in a similar way the Ceramic X reminds me of the Moondrop Chew 2. I think so they sound very similar. Only thing I would say is that maybe the male vocals in Moondrop Chew 2 sound a tad bit better, a bit more refined, a bit more natural, but in the Ceramic X they sound a tad bit unrefined, unnatural. Again, you cannot really find the difference unless you A/B. So I A/B'd it a lot of times and then I noticed it, and that too at a single song at a single time. So unless you don't do that, you won't find it. So that's a simple difference I noticed. Other than that, they sound very similar in my opinion. So if you are looking for a good sounding TWS and you do like that V-shaped Moondrop Chew 2 kind of sound, this is better in my opinion. So what do you want between the Rose Technics earfree i3 and the Ceramic X? So it depends. Basically the Rose Technics earfree i3 has a stem style design, and the Ceramic X has this bulbous kind of design like a pill. So it depends as to what you want. The Rose Technics earfree i3 as of this video has a feature wherein you can go to the app and disable the touch function and you can sleep. And I have done that. It's really good. It blocks out the noise and you can maybe play some tunes at very low volume and you can sleep. And the fit is really good. But what the Ceramic X has, it's a bit bulbous over here. So they do sit a tad bit out. It's not that uncomfortable, but they do sit a tad bit out. You can still sleep sideways, but they do poke a bit. Also, for some pillows, or if you put your hand under your head, right, while sleeping, this touchpad gets activated. There is no way to deactivate it as of now. In the earfree i3 you can do that. I know I'm speaking a lot more in detail for that because I do use that, that's why I'm speaking. But if you don't, that's completely fine. In terms of sound, I think so both sound very similar. This sounds a bit more refined because, as I said, in the mids there is a tad bit of a veilness. Again, it's very slight difference which the earfree i3 has, the Ceramic X lacks in the mids. But other than that, they sound very similar. And the ANC, yes, ANC in my opinion, the Ceramic X is a lot better, especially with the Divinus tips. So if you have the Divinus whiteboard tips, you can use that and get a better seal. Or else even the stock tips are good. Just play around with them depending on the anatomy of your ear. See which one fits for you. That's my review of the Rose Technics Ceramics X. I really like them. It's quite nice. Only thing is that also, I completely forgot to speak about is a fit. These fit me a lot better than the earfree i3, because the earfree i3 has this issue wherein that stem, they don't really fit that well sometimes and they can pop off if I'm sweating a lot. But these don't have that issue, because how Rose Technics says is to use them is you put them in your ear. I hope you can see. Yeah, you put them in your ear and then you twist them forward. You twist them forward, they go deep inside. They sort of drill inside. So that fit you see is really fantastic. It's really nice. I really like that. So the fit in this is, I think so, probably the best I've heard. Probably the best I've felt, because I've tested a lot more TWSs. They all have that shallow fitting. These don't do that. These go deep inside my ear canal. Even with the stock tips, I do not need the Divinus whiteboard. The Divinus whiteboard is an advantage, like it's a plus point over here. So you just put them over here and then you spin them forward. Spin them forward, they go inside and they fit so well. That is fantastic. If Rose Technique could add that disable the touch button via the update, I think so these will be like one of the best TWSs, especially for the budget range. They sound good. They have that typical V shape which I really like, and there is no issues over here. That's my review of the Rose Technics Ceramics X. If you have any doubt, please do comment below and ask, and I'll try to help you out. 94% of the people watching this video aren't subscribed, so I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. That really helps me out a lot. And yeah, I hope you have a great day ahead. Bye.